Hello everybody, today is March 14th, 2023, and this is my experiment investing $1 a day in 10 cryptocurrencies and $1 a day in 55 different dividend stocks. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not giving you advice to buy or sell any of your assets, and this should be seen purely as entertainment only. Now you see this dotted white line, this is when the day actually began, the start of the day, and you can see all of a sudden it shot way up. Why did it shoot way up? Well, there's a lot of different reasons. You can see right here, Bitcoin all of a sudden shot way up. Right around this time period, right today, and it shot up because the Fed has decided to bail out Silicon Valley Bank, and not just Silicon Valley Bank, bail out all of the banks. And it doesn't matter if it's $250,000 FDIC insured, they are going to bail you out regardless if you even have $10 million in the bank. So that has caused a lot of speculation, but that just because it's shooting up now doesn't mean it won't fall back down next week. So this is only a factor, and many things can change because of this. If you enjoy this content, please feel free to leave me a comment, smash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. I will be posting this at minimum every Monday and every Friday of my results, maybe sometimes Wednesday or throughout the week, but you can guarantee get a post from me every Monday and every Friday. So a question got raised to me: why $1 a day? Why so little bit? Well, I believe everybody can do at least $1 a day in saving in something. And I was showing my results here, showing how everything's going. Now, I know over here I was talking about Bitcoin at the very beginning. As Bitcoin goes up, everything else is going to, all these other altcoins will eventually catch up to it. Bitcoin's always the first leader to move up and or down. Now, it's just pure speculation. We don't know what the Fed's going to do next week. Some people speculate they're only going to raise 0.25%. Some people speculate there are higher chance that they're going to do that because now that lots of banks are crashing down because they see that everything's going down, in that sense that banks are crashing and possibly other banks could be crashing as well, because it was one of the major 16 banks that has crashed. So there's pure speculation on what could or could not happen next week. So it could just be a little blip, or it could shoot way up. But if you really look at how the world's going, you know, right? Inflation rate's still at 6%. Interest rates are high. Lots of things are going absolutely nuts. Food prices go up and down. Gas prices go up and down. And so that's why I'm going to come over here. And I know I talked about UAN before, but I'm going to talk about UAN again because of the dividends that they are paying out and because of what type of company they are. They are a CVR Partners LP, and is a holding company which engages in nitrogen fertilizer business. Its products include ammonia and urea ammonium nitrate fertilizers. This company was founded on June 1st, 2007, and is headquarters in Sugar Land, Texas. The listed name for UAN or CVS Partners. Now, what is that? Well, fertilizer. Well, if you really think about it, right? I'm going to take the world into consideration here. Russia, which used to be the biggest producer of fertilizer and natural gases, used to export it out. But now that has changed. And that changed because they are right now at war with Ukraine. And so you can see right here that before it was down, and all of a sudden it shot up. Why? Because the change of resources had to change to somebody else. Now, as it changed, you can see that the prices are skyrocketing, and they're still high regardless if things are going up or down. Now, that's not to say that it will all of a sudden come crashing down. But what really interests me here, and if you're watching my previous videos and you're watching this video, $3.21. That's a great, awesome payout. But they don't do it all the time. Now, I'm going to say this here because I'm going to look on here, right here, and I'm going to look at the NASDAQ. And we're going to look at when they actually pay out their historical, okay? Because we can look at history, and that's the most important part about stocks. You got to look at the history of how much do they pay out. So you can see right here that 3 is when the effective date of when they said they're going to pay out. They're going to pay out $10.50 per each share of stock that you own. So if you own one stock, $91.50, they pay out that much. But you can see right here, the next payout didn't happen until November of 11th, and they only paid $1.77. And you can see right here that it fluctuates up and down regardless of the values of the stock. And we can look at the previous 5 years. So they don't pay out monthly. They don't pay out all the time. So because I was thinking of the idea last night, because you're learning and growing with me here if you are watching this particular video, And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take my advice. Do your own research. Don't listen to some random person on YouTube and just go do your things. Do your own research. Find quality stocks if you do decide to invest. And if you do decide to invest, start small is my recommendation. $1 a day seems like nothing, right? The question somebody posted in one of my comments, why are you only doing $1 a day? Why are you investing so little bit? It makes no sense. Well, it helps me to be able to decide and learn and grow, because I'm growing, and if you're here with my journey, you're growing with me and you're learning with me. But you can see they only pay out that one big payment in March, and I'm not expecting them to pay out again until, maybe they'll pay out in May, right? Maybe. And if they do pay in May, it was just going to be a little bit. So when I was thinking of my idea last night, I was thinking, what if I were to change my investment and actually put more into UAN and maybe see a bigger benefit? But I'm not going to see another payment, maybe, if at all, until the middle of the year, or wait until the end of the year. And even then, when they pay out throughout history, they don't pay out that much. So I'm not looking at another big payment maybe until next year, March. So putting my money and parking it in UAN right now, or a larger amount, or putting a larger amount, investing a large amount, may not be a good idea, where you have all these other different investments that you could, and you really have to look at it. Now, if you go back, way back to, and let's go over here and look at the stock market crash of 1927. I can't remember the exact year it was 1929. The Wall Street crash. This one right here. So, the Wall Street crash of 1929. What exactly? If you can read your own articles, you can look it up. I'll make sure to take this link and post it inside my comments. This is just use it as resource. Just use it as information to gather for yourself. This is not advice at all. It's just look at it. And so I read through a few articles of what happened, or what happened during the recession, what happened to all these different crashes, or the crashes that happened for the stock market, or the great stock market crash that crashed, right? So if we come over here and we look at my investments, let me actually back up so you see what I'm actually doing. So I come over here, I click on my profile, on my actual profile, scroll down, and you can see that a lot of my profile right now is in finances. Now, the article was talking about how in finances, a lot of finance stocks didn't make it. Like how what's happening right now. Finance stocks didn't make it because banks are closing up, whether interest rates are going up, inflation is going, whatever is happening in the world. But what did survive is commodities such as energy, water, consumer goods, and I know there's a lot of different. You can watch other videos, do your own research, read your own books, whatever you feel your highest risk is at. But the real reason I bring that up is because energy and water and consumer goods are probably very important right now. Natural gases. You think about it, a lot of oil came from Russia, and we have, because Russia's at war with Ukraine, and right now we're possibly with a proxy war. Not possibly, we are at a proxy war with Russia through Ukraine. These type of things you have to think of. Will finance stocks actually make it, or will they not make it? So diversifying yourself, that was the other question, is why are you doing $1 a day? Well, I'm diversified, but you shouldn't be, or at least what they say, the experts or other people, maybe not the experts, but what other people say, you don't have to listen to me, just do your own, is only do up to 20% per each different category. Now, the thing about finances, if I wanted to change it, because I was thinking about this last night, is I could have, and what I was thinking of was taking out some of these, or not taking out, but pausing some of these different stocks. For example, I can come over, and I'm not going to do JP Morgan, because I do believe a lot of these finance ones that I did pick for myself, not financial advice, don't buy these randomly, do your own research. Say, for example, if I come over here, and you can see everything is making its way probably back up because of what the Fed has done or was planning to do, and maybe inflation rate's going to stick, and then they're going to have to take more extremes, and maybe they'll increase it by a whole 1%, and then everything will come crashing down again. We don't know what's going to happen next week. It's all speculation. We have no idea. But what I was thinking here is, see this recurring investment, it's instead taking it right here, and I've edited this investment, and I was thinking last night, okay, so instead of doing next day today, move it out maybe, say, till next week, Monday, and then take that $1, because $1 a day, right? So I can move it over to March 20th, and then take that extra dollar and move this currency, because it's still going to do daily once the March 20th is reached. And then I was going to plan, and I was going to be like, okay, so I'm shifting my, because this percent changes, it's just based on how much money you have in each one. That's where they say rebalancing out your stock portfolio, and then taking it and putting in something else, like, say, for example, Apple, or double downing and taking a dollar. Let me just come over here because it's easier for me to see it, and you can see how the interface is different for every single person. But I know UAN is down here because I've organized it this way. And I come over to here to UAN, right? And under UAN, I can come over here and I can go to my reoccurring investment, and I can edit my investment, and I can change the amount. Instead of $1, hello, let's use my keyboard, $2, not 200, $2, and I can confirm. And so now I've just moved my $1 of investing from that one company. So now I'm going to be investing $2 in UAN. So that was my thought process of doing that. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to back this out because I don't really want to do that because I have my long-term goal. But so I'm still investing the same amount. Or you can change it how you want, right? So I know I posted in my other videos, $1 a day, $1 a day. Once you can save $1 a day, right? Start moving the money around and increasing it in value if you can have more to save. That is how the rich people become successful. Is they're just glorified savers, and then pushing the money where they need to push the money. Now, I need to actually find that, and I know it's gain, so I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to undo what I did, just so that I don't actually lose out on how my investment strategy is. So you see right here, March 20th, I did this investment. Come over here, I'm going to change this back to actually today, so that, well, that's the one bad thing about when you change these back and forth. Even though you try to say today, it's going to do it tomorrow. So I need to remember to at least buy one stock of gain for $1 because I changed that investment. So just minor tweaks in here because it sets it up. Now you're like, oh, okay, you can do all these other things. Like you can do a buy order and a sell order. I know I mentioned in one of my other videos where you dollar cost average in and dollar cost average out. So I'm also using TD Ameritrade, and on TD Ameritrade I'm on dollar cost averaging out because I really do believe that we are going to head toward a recession sometime this year. Maybe not this year, maybe it's next year, maybe it's 2 years from now. Maybe if you don't know about this or you're just learning about this now, in 2008 we had a recession. It was short-ish recession. We had a housing market crash, but it didn't just happen in 2008. It started back in 2005, where everything started to go down, and then 2006, and then 2007. 2008 is when it really hit. So the question here is, are we back in 2005, 2006, or are we already in, which may be 2008? Look at history. What is the stock market? It's all about history and seeing what will happen. Is the Fed doing the same thing that they did back then? Yes, they kind of are. They're raising interest. But there's a different trend here. The interest rates, and I'm just going to use this as a graph, don't do that. Interest rates are going up, and inflation is up. We're back in 2008. Inflation, I think it was reversed. Don't quote me on this either. Do your own research. I think it was reversed. As inflation is going the other way and interest rate was going up, or however it was reversed. It was different. But then you have to take into account not just history, but what is going on in current events. Because we can only see historic. We only can see what's going on historically. We can see that it's going back up, but it hasn't reached to the same point. It's getting there from the week. You can see it's already past what it was before. And you can see the month that it's going back up. But if you look at year to date compared to when I started or compared to what it was before, it's slowly climbing its way back up. I'm no longer at such a huge losses. So if I had quit, my emotional roller coaster, there was like, oh, get out, everyone's telling me get out, If you got out before, then you have to take all the tax implications, everything else into effect. So there's a lot of things going on here. So you really have to think about it. But when you look at the world, right? Go back to my point here. The world is all in inflation. We're not just talking about the U.S. I know if you are living in America, you're in your own little bubble, or say, for example, you're living in Japan, or you're living in a different country, or wherever you're living in the world, you are in your own little bubble area, and you're not looking externally, or most people don't look out to other countries. The common person, okay, I'm taking myself as an example. Maybe you're different. Maybe most of the world's not. But I don't believe this. Most people just look at the little world and where they live. So if you live in different states, right, or you live in Tennessee, you live in California, wherever you live, you're looking at your own little world. That's most Americans. And not just your own little world. You're looking at your own little city or your own little town. You're not looking externally. Well, the stock market, you got to look at everything, because everything plays into effect. Money, war, inflation, all the trading. We trade with other countries. We trade with China. We trade with Japan. We have in their services. We have in their goods. We used to trade as much with Russia. The oil would come in, and we had to change and separate it. The oil barrels and reserves we have tons of oil here in America. Yeah, we're pumping it out in a sense, but not the same as what Russia was doing. And just like fertilizer, lots of fertilizer. Why did all of the food prices skyrocket? Because all the major fertilizers that grow our food, feed our cattle. Like, you don't think about, maybe people don't think about what feeds our chickens, what feeds our cows, what feeds the foods that you eat. Maybe you're not a meat, maybe you're a vegetarian. Well, that you're still affected. Cabbages, corn, or whatever type of vegetables that you eat, it's produced with fertilizer. And so I'm hitting it back on this point again, because I'm going back to here, and I know I hit on UAN, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but I'm trying to make you understand a point. If you're listening and you've gotten this far, is UAN is fertilizer and natural resources that is going to be needed in everyday needs, regardless of a recession, regardless if things fall down. Fertilizer is needed to grow food. And it feeds our cows, our pigs, our chickens. That's what produces eggs. If you're only just realizing now that eggs actually come from an animal, and you eat them, then I'm glad that you made this discovery. But maybe you should learn a little bit more about biology and how to actually feed yourself. So the food game, I have mentioned that again in another one of my videos, is play the food game. Learn about food and feed yourself first before you save money, because you cannot survive without food. And then obviously, more than just food, you have to find a way to sleep, where you're going to sleep. If maybe you're homeless, maybe you're living on the street. Really think about it, and for me, I keep relating to games because I'm really, really, really big into video games, and I relate these things to video games. Now, I'm not telling you to gamify the stock market. I'm not telling you to gamify Robinhood and buy and sell and do those things and be a day trader. I explained that in my other videos. A day trader is buying and selling in less than a year. So if you're going to be a day trader, fully understand the game. Don't just go in blindly, because the game that most people don't think about as a day trader is, I'm buying down here, and then I'm going to wait for it to skyrocket back up to here when it comes over there, and I'm going to sell it off, and I'm going to make some money. I made $1,000. But if you're in a different tax bracket, it counts as your income, and you get taxed. It's like, okay, I'm going to buy low, and I'm going to sell high. I'm going to make money. I made $1,000, okay, and then when the crash happens, I'm going to buy in again at a low, and I'm going to sell high. If you do that, yes, you will make money today. But when tax season comes in next year, if you're paying your taxes, hopefully you're doing everything legally. Don't listen to my advice. I'm not giving you advice to do anything like that. You have to understand, whatever you're doing, make sure that you understand that you are losing a percentage of your money each time, and as you're buying in, you're also losing too. Because how do these companies make money? How does Robinhood make money? How does TDJ make money? Commission-free trades, right? Blah, blah, blah. They're not just commission-free trades. They make money off of me as I'm doing my scheduled as I'm doing my scheduled investments. I'm doing $1 a day, but they make the decision instead of doing limit orders. And when I say limit orders, you can come over here and you can buy, right? And you can buy, and instead of doing here, you can say, I want to buy in Bitcoin, right? And you can do a limit order. There it is, limit order. And you can say the limit price. So you can say, I want to buy in, instead of at 26, I want to buy in at, say, for example, 25,000, right? For Bitcoin. And then you would say, and you would actually continue, and you would say the amount, or however you want, not that much, but I'm over here trying to type in ahead at extra zero. But you buy in at a price, and then it'll only buy at that price. But the thing is, Robinhood, or those other type of companies that have commission free, they say commission free, they're making money off you because they're buying it at the price that the people say it's going to go at, right? I can't set the limit order. I can't set the price. It is going on based on what it is. Now you see this little plus sign? This little plus sign stands for, that's when my reoccurring. See, you remember how I was saying that there's a limit order? The next reoccurring investments, I'm going to invest $1, but I don't get to decide on how much or when I'm going to buy in, right? Say I wanted to actually put the limit order down here when near the start of the day, right? So Coca-Cola started at like $59.81. My reoccurring investment is just going to buy whatever the market's at. And then Robinhood makes the decision on when to buy and who to buy from at what price. And they make a little bit of the profits. So that's how they make their money. And all of them are, not all of them, but a lot of different companies do it in their own way. So when you question the facts of how is Robinhood making its money, well, they're making the money. They're looking out for themselves. They're not looking out for you. You're looking for themselves. But that was not the reason why I chose Robinhood. I did choose it for its commission-free to trade, but I also choose it for its easyality and the fact that they got marked a bunch of red flags, so they're going to try to fix it. And for many other different reasons. There's let me come over here and look this up. It was Motley Fool Robinhood review. This is just one. I've read a whole bunch of different articles, and there was an article in here, and I'll find it and I'll link it. But why would I choose to use Robinhood brokerage account over all the other different accounts? Now you can use Webull, you can use all those other accounts. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just giving you information. Do your own research. Don't listen to me. Find out what works for you if you decide to invest. Or maybe you're just watching this as entertainment, seeing what $1 a day could possibly do for you for each market. When I say think about it, I'm literally saying if you took $1 a day and you invested it, say for example in RF, this is just an example, and it's down now, you could see what would happen. This is just more of a what if scenario. If I invested $1 a day on January 6, 2023 in only one of these stocks, where would I be today? And then I'm just taking it and I'm scaling it to I'm scaling it to 55 different dividend stocks, and I'm scaling it to cryptocurrencies, because financially I can do that. Now you may not be in that same financial situation, so don't listen to me, don't copy me, but I'm doing $1 a day because I really truly believe $1 a day is something, or the smaller value is something that people can apply to their life in some form or fashion. And maybe it's not $1 a day you can't do. Maybe you only can do a dime a day, 10 cents a day, 1 cent a day. Whatever it is, start at a value. 1 penny a day. Save 1 penny a day. You could walk around the street in the olden days, back in the 1990s, and you could find pennies on the ground. And I used to pick them up and save them. And they tell those little kid stories where if you save money and then eventually you keep saving money and you can become rich. So I used to walk around and look at the ground all the time and pick up money, and people were like, "Oh, are you depressed?" I'm like, "No, I'm looking for money." Like one time I found $20 way back in the day on the ground, or the one special time I was on the kids swing. As a kid, I found $100 at the swing set. I was like, "Oh, I'm rich. I'm awesome," But it's all about saving. And then what I did with the $100 obviously was silly and dumb. I went and bought either candy or food or something like that. I didn't think about my future. It was just instant gratification, which is how most people really are today. Is you take this money, right? Say for example, I were to somehow make $100,000 from Shiba Inu and tomorrow, right? It's just an example. And if I were to just take it out and cash it out, okay, $100,000, now I got to take into account how much income do I have? What bracket am I in? I guess I'm gonna get taxed 25% of 100,000. So $25,000 of that 100,000 gone already if I sell it. If I were to sell that and it was 100,000, I sell it today, 25,000, it's gone. It goes to the government, but it's not gone at that moment. I cashed in 100,000. But I'm 25,000 down already, so I only have 75,000. But if I were to say, oh, I'm going to buy a nice car, I'm going to buy a Ferrari with my 100,000. Bam, I spent the money. I now lost $25,000 that I still owe in taxes because I did that. And that's how you all of a sudden lost all your money. Instead, take that 75,000. Take 25,000. Actually, I would take more. I would take 30,000. Put it in a safe place, because okay, that 30,000 is not mine. That's for taxes and for if I'm filing or doing anything else, or if somebody comes in and does something. So you have the extra 5,000 buffer to do something with it. Or maybe you're in a totally different tax rate. Maybe it's not 25%. Maybe it's something else. Take that into account. Okay, it could even be 33%. So you know what? 30,000 is not going to cut it. You know what? Just take 50%. 50% to be safe. 100,000, take $50,000, put it someplace where you cannot spend it and you can't touch it. Say, this money is not mine, but this other 50,000 is mine. And what you do with it, that's up to you. Spend it on a nice car, spend it on some luxury meal, go on a vacation, whatever it is, whatever tickles your fancy. But you can only spend 50,000, where the other 50,000, think of it as it's not yours anymore. That's taxes. Okay? But I personally would still play it more safe because I don't really know all the tax laws. I don't really know what is and what is not going to happen with my money. So I would, if you want to be really safe, save the 100,000 and don't actually spend it there, or reinvest it like a smart person, like I was describing before, like a video game. The smart people buy the prizes from the counter. They get their tickets. They buy the prizes from the counter, and then they go and they reinvest it back into itself to earn more money. Now, I wouldn't do it in Bitcoin or coins anymore. I would still just keep this dollar. I would just keep going, sticking $1 a day, because for me, it's working. I'm seeing the money go up and down. I can see live results. You can see it here with me. That's what my journey is here on YouTube, is just watching it go up and down. But I would personally take it and I would reinvest it in dividend stocks, because I see dividend stocks paying me even in retirement. I like how the tax laws are currently written. Who knows? It could change in the future. The government can do all. They can't do it without signing in and doing it with the Senate or whatever it is, right? I was never big into what presidents in office or what the Fed's doing or what the Senate's doing, but the more and more as I learn about stocks and investing, you kind of have to know what's going on if you really want to be a day trader. Now, I'm not a day trader right at this moment. I'm trying to be an investor. What I was taught, or how I learned things, was to be a day trader, because that's how people explain the stock. But I don't want to be that gambler. I want to be an investor and see for long term. Now, I could still be a day trader in a sense, because I'm in that spot where I could come in here and I could sell these stocks. But that's not my plan. That's not my goal. That's not how I see myself doing it. I see myself doing it in this other way. If you've stayed this long, please go ahead and click on the like button. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I am going to be posting this content at least a minimum every Monday and every Friday, maybe sometimes Wednesday, maybe every single day. But at minimum, you'll get a post from me every Monday, every Friday on updates on how this is doing. Thank you for being here, and you all have a wonderful rest of your day.